Today, we have the February 23rd, 2023 PlayStation State of Play, and after watching this presentation, I can't even figure out what Sony is trying to do anymore. They have this black and blue color scheme that is reminiscent of the PlayStation 2. It's all throughout this presentation. It's kind of reminding me of the earlier days, I suppose, when Sony was trying to be the hardcore company with more mature releases and sort of an uncensored stance in regards to the content that they allow, except that's not really who Sony is at this point. They've rescinded some of those stances. Censorship standards have gotten worse over time. It feels like Sony is this big hulking giant that's just sort of content with itself to lunge forward, lumber through the competition. Theoretically, it's picked up a lot of exclusive games and has some of the best tech, but where is the company going? This presentation was void of personality, and it was actually pretty sad. So out the gate, we have the PlayStation VR2, which has me very worried. The original PlayStation VR had issues with the camera in particular. I went through two separate cameras and the centering would drift to the left and it would screw up my games. It was very aggravating. So I was hoping that perhaps with the VR2, maybe Sony learned their lesson and they put out a very polished product. Except I'm Googling now and it seems like a lot of the reception for some of the first owners of the VR2 is pretty downright terrible, where button presses are just not being picked up by the games. That's just screwed up. VR already needs to sell us. It's already cumbersome to use. No company has really outright addressed the issue that it is a pain in the ass to play when you're wearing glasses, even though there are resolutions to that and companies that will create custom lenses built to your prescription that'll fit into all of the different popular VR headsets. Nobody's talking about that. This technology is expensive, nobody knows how to hook it up properly, and nobody is dedicated to resolving this mess and then communicating it to the public. What Sony does here is just dumps 5 games, 5 trailers, and I barely even know what these games are. 4 out of 5 seem to be first-person shooters, all with just a different aesthetic. The Foglands has you shoot undead creatures, Green Hell has you shoot bow and arrows and is more primitive, Synapse is kind of futuristic, where you seem to have psychic powers, and then there's Journey to Foundation, apparently based on a book by Isaac Asimov, and has more shooting. This one looks a little bit more cool. It's got a real sci-fi in-space feel to it. However, all of these games also feel like they're budget titles. The detail on all the character models is very low, and so what is the chance that any of these games actually stands out as an amazing game that really sells us all on VR? Very low. Then there's Before Your Eyes. It's a furry game, maybe, with cel-shaded graphics. It's the most artistic looking game, and at least it's trying to be something a little bit different. There's no killing this time, and you're just taking pictures. It seems to have some type of theme about self-discovery. Then we go into the actual games. Destiny 2 Lightfall. So Destiny 2 continues. I played the original Destiny 2. It was fun. It's a looter shooter. It has good multiplayer. I know there's some people that are obsessed with this game, although I've never really understood how this game is so rewarding once you get past just the main storyline. It just wasn't for me at that point, but apparently there's more. As a sort of casual observer of this franchise at this point, I have no idea. It's a whole bunch of action scenes. It looks kind of cool, but maybe someone will have to fill me in on this one. Next is Chia. Looks like a real young kid's game. Not much to say here. Graphics look like they're similar to Wind Waker. After that, we have Humanity. Now, this game is interesting. I like it when more interesting games get announced and have previews during these presentations. This game, though, this looks to be somewhat of a Lemmings title, where instead of lemmings, you're controlling humans. Kinda looks like these puzzles belong in a Ratchet and Clank game. You can build your own levels too. This is all technically really cool, although I have a suspicion that very few people are actually going to take full advantage of what this game will bring, due to it being just a little too niche. Next up is, oh man, this is my favorite game. Goodbye, Volcano High. I am so excited for this. It looks like we have rhythm mini games. Finally, my dreams have come true. Next, we have Naruto Cross X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections. Somehow I've managed to comment on Naruto video games a lot on this channel more recently. Not really by design. I'm glad that we're getting more games for this franchise. I do miss some of the variety we used to have though, but it's good that they're embracing the newest extension of the franchise with Boruto. Then we have Baldur's Gate 3, a strategy RPG. Unfortunately, I do not know that much about this franchise. It looks pretty cool. I might check it out. So then we have Wayfinder, and this is when a pattern started to emerge with the PlayStation State of Play. It's a fantasy-style game, colorful, and it looks like a Borderlands looter shooter. Wow, just what I need. More looter shooters in my life. The beta will be exclusive to the PlayStation. Following that, we have Street Fighter 6 with 3 new characters. Zangief, who looks like Zangief has always looked like. Man, these characters look really shiny in this game. Zangief has been really oiling up, it appears. There's Lily, who seems to be drawing upon X-Men Storm. She uses the power of the wind, I suppose. She's a fast-moving character with a little bit of comedy thrown in. That's neat. And then Cammy. I do like Cammy. She's not in the classic outfit here, and her hair is a little shorter. I'm a little curious what's been happening in the storyline of Street Fighter, if one even exists at this point. I have no clue. It's good to see her though. She looks fun to play. Maybe I will play Street Fighter 6. We'll see. With Street Fighter 5, I was not really dialed in enough to Street Fighter in general to really pick up on all of the nuance and differences with that game as compared to Street Fighter 4. Like, I know that they're different, but I'm really kind of a casual player at this point, and so I really don't know what this game will be bringing differently either. Next up is Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 looks cool. It looks exciting. We've seen a lot of this game at this point. Do we really need to pontificate on it anymore? And then, finally, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which, by the way, I have in my notes here. This is the worst game title for the YouTube algorithm. I don't think we're supposed to say any of these words anymore. You know, what is this, like, self-unalive squad, unalive the Justice League? YouTube is so stupid these days. So this is a looter shooter. Again, it looks like they're showcasing how there's all these gear options. You can customize your characters and you can customize your guns. And I'm looking at all this and it's like, is all this nonsense really this fun at this point in every single title? Just give me like 6 separate guns. I'm good with that. I don't need to customize everything until the cows come home. So it's an extension of the Arkhamverse. There are way too many separate universes in DC at this point. I have no idea how to follow any of this stuff anymore. The DC EU, I guess, is getting rebooted. Maybe, but some characters are going to be hanging around. Maybe some will return. I don't know. Joker has his own universe right now in the movies that doesn't seem to have anything to do with the other DC movies. There's the Arrowverse. Now we got the Arkhamverse here, which is in the video games. And then, of course, there's comics and cartoons and who knows what other nonsense. This time we have Harley Quinn, Deadshot, King Shark, and Captain Boomerang. And they need to kill evil versions of the Justice League. I'm sure there's somebody out there that like really understands where all of this is pulling from. That's cool. I casually enjoy DC movies sometimes, although these movies are such a mess. I don't know where they're going. That movie with The Rock was terrible. Now we have Shazam 2 coming out. Except we know that this universe is done for, and it's sort of like, what's even the point now when I know that this movie is probably not going to be any better than average? I suppose that's not the proper rant for this presentation, though. It's a looter shooter. Wow, exciting. You know, it has a grappling hook. You can fling around. I like the fast-paced action. This actually probably will be at least moderately fun. Who knows if these enemies are just going to be huge bullet sponges, though. We'll see. It really feels like the 15 minutes that they put into this game was a ploy to get all the YouTubers talking about the unaliving squad here. I guess I've fallen for it. So we'll move on to whatever the next game is, which was nothing. No new Final Fantasy related footage, nothing from Square Enix, nothing really both exciting and original getting announced. It's just nothing. Just, you know, here was a whole bunch of trailers and that's it. Sony really needs to pay somebody that's got some marketing skill that'll hang out with us through the entire presentation and make this actually feel like something. And it sure would have been nice if they showcased, you know, a few other games of different variety. And someone's going to say, oh, we got Human. We have Goodbye Volcano High. And it's like, come on. You should know what I'm saying here. You got looter shooters, you got VR tech demos, you got a furball game, and a couple of games that are so niche that even I'm not that interested in playing them. Where is that sort of middle ground where the cool games are getting released that feel like gamers' games to some extent, but aren't just the same old crap? So those are my thoughts. I thought this time that if I used this as my Friday video, because that's what I've been doing, putting out videos on Fridays, that would kind of be a ripoff because this was just so bland and unexciting. So we'll have something else cool tomorrow. So I hope you hang out with me then. Make sure to do all the important things, such as like, comment, and subscribe. And also, thank you for watching.